Hi. This will be part two of my reading of Nahum. I guess you could say I may be reading chapter 2 of the book of Nahum. And the reason why is because what is about to happen in northern Iraq at Mosul, it may not happen, but if it does, I see that this could be the fulfillment of the book of Nahum. And when I read Nahum chapter 2 now, you might see why. But I'll be reading all of Nahum and see if you come to the same conclusion. Okay, Nineveh to fall. An attacker advances against you, Nineveh, which is close to Mosul in our time. Guard the fortress, watch the road, brace yourselves, marshal all your strength. The Lord will restore the splendor of Jacob, like the splendor of Israel, though destroyers have laid them waste, and have ruined their vines. The shields of the soldiers are red. The warriors are clad in scarlet. The metal on the chariots flashes. On the day they are made ready, the spears of juniper are brandished. The chariots storm through the streets, rushing back and forth through the squares. They look like flaming torches. They dart about like lightning. Nineveh summons her picked troops, yet they stumble on their way. They dash to the city wall. The protective shield is put in place. The river gates are thrown open, and the palace collapses. It is decreed that Nineveh be exiled and carried away. Her female slaves moan like doves and beat on their breasts. You know, I bet that happened when ISIS took over Mosul. Nineveh is like a pool whose water is draining away. Stop, stop, they cry, but no one turns back. Plunder the silver, plunder the gold. The supply is endless, the wealth from all its treasures. She is pillaged, plundered, stripped. Hearts melt, knees give way, bodies tremble. Every face grows pale. You want to know something? The King James is more prophetic sound when you read it. Where now is the lion's den, the place where they fed their young, where the lion and lioness went, and the cubs, with nothing to fear. The lion killed enough for his cubs, and strangled the prey for his mate, filling his lairs with the kill, and his dens with the prey. I am against you, declares the Lord Almighty. I will burn your chariots in smoke, and the sword will devour your young lions. I will leave you no prey on the earth. The voices of your messengers will no longer be heard. Okay, now I think I'll read last chapter of Nahum, chapter 3. I think it's just 3 chapters. Yeah. It's been almost 25 years since I read. I'd say almost, it's about 24 years since I last read Nahum. And I thought it would be fulfilled in the Gulf War, but didn't. And looks like the page has frozen, so I might have to stop. Oh no, it moved it. Okay, it's working here. Okay. Let's see, how's this? How many minutes do I have left here? Oh, it's not even recording. Okay. Well, it's a good thing. Okay, I read Nahum, and it wasn't recording, but I did get it on here. So, yeah, I couldn't see how it was fitting with prophecy there. But now I'm going to read chapter 3, and we'll see if it's more up to... Because the reason why I'm reading Nahum is because it's dealing with Nineveh. And Nineveh is right across the river. It's in ruins now, but it's right across the river from Mosul. And the way things are going, it looks like Mosul is going to be attacked to take back from ISIS, and in the process, it might look like prophecy is being fulfilled. So anyway, I will read that part now. See what you think here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is chapter 3. Woe to Nineveh. Woe to the city of blood, full of lies, full of plunder, never without victims. And I want to tell you something here. The King James, when you read it, sounds more prophetic than this version, which is New International Version. Yeah, because I read the King James, I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good fit with Mosul in our time, you know. But well, I'll read this, and this is a different version, and maybe I'll see it again. I don't, but we'll see. Okay, woe to Nineveh. Woe to the city of blood, full of lies, full of plunder, never without victims, the crack of whips, the clatter of wheels, galloping horses and jolting chariots, charging cavalry, flashing swords and glittering spears, many casualties, piles of dead, bodies without number, people stumbling over the corpses, all because of the wanton lust of prostitutes alluring the mistress of sorceries, the enslaved nations by her prostitution, and peoples of her witchcraft. I'm against you, declares the Lord Almighty. I will lift your skirts over your face. I will show the nations your nakedness, and the kingdoms your shame. I will pelt you with filth. I will treat you with contempt and make you a spectacle. And I will see you, and all who see you will flee from you and say, Nineveh is in ruins. Who will mourn for her? Where can I find anyone to comfort her? Are you better than Thebes, situated on the Nile, with water around her? The river was her defense, the waters her wall. Cush and Egypt were among her allies. Yeah, Cush and Egypt were her boundless strength. Put and Libya were among her allies. And right now, ISIS is located in Libya, so Libya is now an ally with the ISIS in Mosul. Making a video. Would you like anything? Okay. I thought I'd read Nahum, see what people think. Yeah. Okay. Yet she was taken captive. Yeah, I've got to read that again. The river was her defense, the waters her wall. Cush and Egypt were her boundless strength. Well, you know, Egypt had the Muslim Brotherhood until Egypt, Sisi and the military overthrew the Muslim Brotherhood. And the Muslim Brotherhood, you know, would be on the side of ISIS, and now they're overthrown. So Cush and Egypt were her boundless strength. Put and Libya were among her allies, and they're allies now because ISIS is in Libya. So I can see how it would be an ally of Mosul now with ISIS there. Yet she was taken captive and went into exile. Her infants were dashed to pieces at every street corner. Lots were cast for her nobles, and all her great men were put in chains. You too will become drunk. You will go into hiding and seek refuge from the enemy. All your fortresses are like fig trees with their first ripe fruit. When they are shaken, the figs fall into the mouth of the eater. Look at your troops; they are all weaklings. The gates of your land are wide open to your enemies. And right now the enemies are gathering. The Kurds are coming down to take back Mosul. Possibly. We'll see what happens here. Yeah. Fire has consumed the bars of your gates. Draw water for the siege. Strengthen your defenses. Work the clay. Tread the mortar. Repair the brickwork. There the fire will consume you. So, you see ISIS burning people to death? they're going to get it too, if this is a prophecy about what's going to happen with ISIS in Mosul. There the fire will consume you, the sword will cut you down. They will devour you like a swarm of locusts, multiply like grasshoppers, multiply like locusts. You have increased the number of your merchants till they were more numerous than the stars in the sky. But like locusts, they strip the land and they fly away. Your guards are like locusts, your officials like swarms of locusts that settle in the walls on a cold day, but when the sun appears, they fly away, and no one knows where. King of Assyria, your shepherds slumber. Your nobles lie down to rest. Your people are scattered on the mountains with no one to gather them. And you know, they were scattered on the mountains. The Kurds and the Yazidis were scattered on the mountains during the Gulf War when Bush wouldn't help them, and then the Yazidis were scattered on the mountains with no one to your people are scattered on the mountains with no one to gather them. Nothing can heal you. Your wound is fatal. All who hear the news about you clap their hands at your fall. Now this is probably when Mosul is taken away from ISIS, then they'll clap their hands. For who has not felt your endless cruelty? So I think that's, in other words, if this is prophecy fulfilling, sounds like ISIS in Mosul is going to get its patootie kicked. So anyway, I'll end it there.